Hello and welcome to the Life They Live podcast. I'm the host, Nina, and today I'm having a conversation with Agathe Beulné, who is passionate about makeup. She created her Instagram account in 2017, where she shares her creative looks. In this episode, we talk about the art of makeup, the therapeutic aspect of makeup, the benefits and disadvantages of having an Instagram account, and much more. Agathe will also give you some beauty advice, so we hope you'll enjoy the episode. Hey Agathe, how are you doing?
Hey Nina, I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this episode. It's very special for me when I do episodes with friends because for people who don't know, on this podcast, I always talk about the passions of people and I ask them questions about their passions. And us, for example, I think we were like 13 or 14, something like that.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. Now we're 20 and 21. Yeah, like I said, it's special for me because, I've seen how your passion grew, if I may say it like that. So, for example, we're going to talk about makeup today. And I remember, when you created your Instagram account and everything. So it's nice to have this conversation because it also brings back memories and we can talk about it. So that's really nice.
You saw the process.
Yeah, I saw the process. Actually, I remember my first memory, like it's like a little anecdote. My first memory I have of you and makeup was, when we were like 14. We lived in the US and we were going to like homecoming or prom. I think it was probably homecoming.
Yeah, homecoming. You did your makeup, huh?
I think I did it, but I was like very bad. I didn't know how to do it, and I tried to do eyeliner. I remember for like the first time, but I couldn't do
Your
it.
eyes were watering and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
So then I kept removing it and putting it back on. So my eyes were just like super red. And I remember you just did it in like one go, and I was like, okay, yeah, you can see the difference between you and I. So that was my first memory. And you actually taught me later on, like years after, how to do eyeliner. So now I do your technique every time. But yeah, so I'm happy to be doing this episode with you. Before we continue, maybe you can present yourself to people who don't know you.
Yeah, so my name is Agathe. I'm French. I'm 20 years old. I'm passionate about makeup and artistic makeup. I've been doing it since I was God knows how long. I've been playing with makeup since I was in middle school, and then I started my makeup account in 2017 when I was 16, and now it's been 4 years, and here we are.
Yeah, well, that's nice. And yeah, I was gonna ask you actually what your first memory, like, do you remember how it started?
My earliest memory of makeup, I used to go in my mom's like makeup stash and I used to steal all kinds of stuff, like put on mascara and shimmery eyeshadow, and then I would just go out and people were like, oh, are you wearing makeup? Because I tried to make it subtle. I was like, no, it's all natural. But it really, I had mascara and all. It was really cool. Or Halloween. I remember when I lived in China, when I was like 9 years old, my mom did all these kinds of makeup on me. I had like black eyeshadow and I had a little spider web on my cheek. That was like the first time I really wore makeup out, and I remember loving it. So yeah. That's how it all started. When I got a bit older, around 16 or stuff, I used to play with makeup all the time before I went to take a shower. I used to do 2 different eyes and just try a bunch of stuff and then just wash it off. And I used to take pictures and just send them to my friends. I'm like, oh, look what I created. Look what I created. And they actually were the ones who pushed me to create an account. They were like, you should just post it. And that's what I did. I just created an account. But at first it was just like a place where I could just keep all the makeup I did. I didn't really think anything of it. Or I didn't think it would just become what it is today, So it just started off like that.
Yeah, it was more like an album almost for you to keep
it was
track.
just to keep track of what I did and just see if I got better, if I tried different things, different techniques, different products, and how it would work out.
Yeah, we're gonna talk actually about how your account was when you started and now. But before, I thought it was interesting to ask you when doing makeup really became a passion, because especially in middle school and high school, I guess, yeah, it's not uncommon to just put on makeup because you want to hide, I don't know, like acne, or just
Yeah.
because it's something that a lot of people do, so you just do it, but not really because you want to do it, but more because it's a norm and because you think it makes you look pretty or whatever. And for you, when did it become like something you enjoyed and not something you would just do because a lot of people were doing it? I don't know if that makes sense as a question.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, I first started wearing makeup because, like you said, I wanted to put mascara. I wanted to put a bit of eyeliner, and then it just grew from that. I started wearing mascara, and then I got my first eyeliner was when I was in like 8th grade, and then I got my first palettes, and then I got my first whatever it was after that. It just kept on growing like that, and really became a passion. I think in sophomore year.
Okay.
No, 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 no. In junior year of high school. That's when
Mm-hmm.
we got back from the United States, and I really started playing with makeup. And it just when I started playing around, when I bought I remember I bought this white eyeliner from NYX, and I used to do wings and do a white line underneath it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, just little things I would buy, and then my collection kept on growing, and my love for it kept on growing with it as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's very progressive. And
Yeah.
was there someone or something that inspired you, like for example other friends or family members that did it, or just influencers, or not really?
Yeah, more influencers. Like you remember, like Kathleen Lights.
Yeah.
You were the one who introduced her to me, and I still watch her all the time. I love her. But yeah, mostly influencers because my mom doesn't wear that much makeup. Like she wears it every day. She does a bit of eyeliner and mascara, but that's it. And my friends are pretty basic. Even though I have an influence on them now, they start wearing like purple eyeshadow and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, like Marine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember her. Yeah, she plays around with makeup. I gave her a bunch of stuff so that she could like pursue her creativity in makeup. So that's really cool. Maybe my aunt, because I remember when we were doing like Christmas parties, she was always the one that did my makeup, and I always loved how she did. She did some brown wings, and that's what I did all the time. I don't know if you remember. I always
Mm-hmm.
did brown wings. So maybe yeah, her, my aunt.
Or inspired you a bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You were talking about friends being inspired by you, but it's true that several times when I used to come to your house, you would do my makeup sometimes. And I
Yeah.
remember you bought me like a green, how do you call it? Like a
A pencil line.
pencil, yeah, a green
Yeah.
pencil liner. And I actually bought palettes now with like more colors and stuff. And sometimes, I
Yeah.
try. It's not always amazing, but at least I try. So yeah,
Yeah.
I could say also that you inspired me to probably like put on more makeup, or at least try more creative looks than just
Yeah.
black eyeliner. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
with the like, if you have green eyeshadow, you can just do a wing with the green eyeshadow, not really put a pencil. It stays soft, but while having some color onto your eyes, it's a fun way to add a pop of color to a look.
Yeah. Yeah, because you also use products in different areas, right? Like for example, I know several times I ask you, oh, like where did you buy this red eyeliner? And then you tell me, oh, it's not an eyeliner, it's like a lipstick or something, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I do a red smoky eye, I'm gonna put red lipstick all over my eye and then pack it on with the red eyeshadow, so that way it's a lot more intense. Or I use a
Mm-hmm.
body paint as eyeliner, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So that, I think that's nice because it shows that, you don't always need to have 1,000
Oh yeah,
products.
no,
Yeah.
you don't need it. And also a lot of people think that you have to buy stuff at Sephora or like Lancome or Dior or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to have a good quality, but that's not true at all. Most of my makeup, the products I use on a daily basis are like $10. Like a Morphe, their eyeshadow are amazing and they're really cheap. Like they're not cheap, like the quality is amazing, but the price is very low. And
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to spend like a ton of money to have good products.
Yeah, I think I remember one time going with you actually to like Action to buy like super thin brushes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
example also. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, I think especially now with like social media and stuff, people might have the impression that you need to consume and buy a lot of products, but sometimes you can do nice things with like the products that you have and you don't need to spend
Yeah.
crazy amounts of money. So I think that's nice. And so now we're talking about, you know, the fact that you liked makeup and it became a passion. But um yeah, you kind of answered that question or actually what motivated you to start an Instagram account. So it was, I guess you were saying your friends that kind of pushed you to
My
do it.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So what changed then when you created your Instagram account? Because I'm sure then your passion probably, I don't know if we can say took a different turn, but at least became maybe more
Yeah, it evolved
yeah.
in.
Yeah, it evolved, yeah.
Yeah, well, the main thing that changed is my technical application and like my skills, I guess. I remember the first time I did the cut crease, I was so proud of it. And now if you scroll all the way down on my Instagram account, it's hideous. So I progressed in that. And also I used to take my pictures with the back of my iPhone 6 with the flash on. And when I think about it, it makes me cringe, but I used to do that. And I remember the first time I bought studio lighting, I bought 2 soft boxes and a ring light. And that was like a game changer. I could do, because before I used to stand in front of the window with my flash and my back camera. The lighting was always off because if it was raining, then the lighting was shitty and vice versa. So having studio lighting, that meant I could do my makeup whenever I wanted, because before I was forced to do it in the morning was the lighting was good and so studio lighting's changed my life, and having camera also. And now I have LED panels with a macro lens, and macro lens changed my life. I love it so much. You can see all the details in the makeup, but also in the pupil. I love pupils. You know it. We took a
Yeah.
picture of our own pupils in Lyon,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love the macro detail.
Mm. Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask you, what do you love most about makeup? That might be a hard question, I guess.
I don't know actually.
Like, is it more
Maybe
like the technique or like creativity or just, yeah, you said
yeah,
the eye
maybe
in general also.
the eye in general is my thing, because besides the makeup on the eye, because that's for me that's where you can be the most creative with it, but also the pupil, like it makes everything, because you can put a contact lens and change your whole eye spec. Like if you put on blue contact, then the makeup is going to change totally, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, but maybe the endless possibilities, I guess, because I've been doing this for 4 years and I've never done something that's the same, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah.
endless possibilities with makeup. There are endless color combinations, shapes. You can do literally whatever you want, and that's what I love the most about it.
Yeah. I just want to add two things to that. So the first one is because I didn't ask you yet what you post on your Instagram account, but it's mostly then makeup for the eyes, right? Like eye
Yeah,
makeup. Yeah.
I make up. Yeah, I take like macro shots of my eyes, and I also do sometimes lips and
Mm-hmm.
full face of makeups, but I mainly do eyes. I'm gonna be honest, it's easier because I only
Mm-hmm.
have to do one. I don't have to worry about the symmetry. I can spend more time on it and be more precise and have every detail perfect, because when doing macro photography, every detail has to be perfect, because otherwise you can see all the flaws.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like when you're doing a full face of makeup and you're taking a picture from afar, you don't
Yeah.
really see the small details, so it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. But because I take such close-up pictures, it has to be perfect. So I like spending the time. I can spend. Oh, that's one other thing that changed before when I started my account. I'm a lot faster now. I remember spending like 2 hours on one eye, and now I spend barely an hour on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I lost my myself in the track of it, but yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, you were talking about like full face compared to one eye. And I guess also for
Yeah,
your subscribers, it's nice if they can really see the details of the eye so that they can, you know, maybe recreate it or see really how you
yeah,
did it. Because sometimes full
yeah,
face it's
exactly.
harder than to see
Yeah, yeah.
the
I
yeah.
yeah, I do videos also sometimes, but that kind of takes away the pleasure of doing the makeup for me, because when I do makeup is very therapeutic to me. I put on my music, I get in my bubble, and then just do my thing. Because but when I have to film it, it's I have to concentrate. I have to make sure that it's in the frame, that it's on focus, that I'm doing the right thing. But my thumb is blocking. I don't know what it is, and it's just a whole process. And then I have to edit it. So, but I love seeing the end process. It's just while doing it, it's not the best experience, I guess. So that's why I don't do it often, but I try to do it every once in a while.
Yeah, for you, it's you enjoy it more when it's just a picture,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
then
yeah. It's just me focusing on my thing, and then I just take my picture.
yeah, because then while you do your makeup, you can do anything you want,
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about, like you said, the camera, for example. Yeah, I can
yeah,
understand that. That makes sense. And you talked a little bit about creativity, the fact that you've been doing it for 4 years, and you've never done the same thing twice. But I feel like I often ask this question when I do episodes about anything artistic. Did you have hard times when you had no creativity? Like, what do you do if that
yeah.
happens? If sometimes you're like, okay, I just don't know what to do. Does that happen often? And what would you do in that case?
Yeah, it happens to me quite a bit,
Mhm.
especially right now. And what I do, that's what I did the other day. I counted my palettes, have like a 30-ish palettes, and I did a number generator, and
Mhm.
it gave me a random number, and I used that palette.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
if from there I don't know what to do, then I'll go on Instagram. I have a saved makeup collection. And I'll go in there and see if I can be inspired by the color combination or the shape of it, and then
Mhm.
see what I can work on with the palette I have in front of me. And if the palette is not enough, then I do another number generator and I pick another palette, and that way I use them in conjunction with each other.
Yeah, that's a nice idea actually. To There are also like websites where you can create or generate color palettes, where they give you several colors that go well
Yeah,
together and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I did that too
Hmm.
sometimes.
Yeah, that's nice, I guess, because you're still being creative, but it helps you. It's like a help that you can use to
Yeah.
push yourself maybe a bit more out of your comfort zone or something, if you're used to always doing the same looks at least.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Hmm.
sometimes I'm just gonna count the shades. If there are like 20 shades in a palette, I'm gonna generate like 5 numbers and I'm gonna use these 5 shades in one look. So that's
Yeah.
gonna challenge myself to create something with these shades that I won't normally put in together.
Okay,
That's what I
great.
do when I'm in a slump.
Yeah, I think that's also nice advice for anything that has to do with art, actually, not just makeup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because you also do art on the side, right? Like it's mostly like
yeah.
painting, or yeah.
I mainly paint. I love spray painting, and
Mm-hmm.
I paint with a spatula. Also, I love it. It creates these textures and these blends of colors. I love it, and
Yeah.
I draw a bit too. But yeah, I mainly like doing. I guess I like painting more because of the brushes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to using brushes on my for makeup. I guess I like painting more because of it.
Yeah, because if I'm not wrong, you first started liking makeup and then you started painting. So
Yeah,
it went in that order, right? Yeah.
yeah, I went in that order.
Mm-hmm. So probably then makeup had an influence, I would guess.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in terms of we are talking about creativity and stuff, are there makeup looks that you love and some makeup looks that you're like, okay, I'm never gonna do these types of looks?
Yeah, there's stuff that I won't do, or never say never, no, but
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I do the least are avant-garde makeup.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to explain, but it's like body painting. Like you paint your whole face and you're gonna stick on some pearls or some rhinestones or stuff like that. There's
Okay.
an amazing artist called Cindy Chen Designs. She's an avant-garde makeup artist and her stuff is amazing. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where she takes her creativity from, but it's insane what she does. So that's the thing I don't do because first of all, I don't have the makeup equipment for it, and second, it's just not something that I see myself doing. I've never tried it, but maybe I'll try it one day when I have the makeup for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, avant-garde is the one thing that I don't really do.
Okay. And the opposite, like something that you like to do the most?
Probably a mix between editorial and glam. So
Okay.
editorial is going to be a bit more light, some magazine stuff, so
Yeah.
maybe some sharp lines, some bold colors, some very dewy skin, and mix it with glam. So a bit more eyeshadow, a bit more sparkly with a big wing,
Mm-hmm.
but keep it with and put gloss on top. So I love doing that. Love putting gloss on top of everything. It just makes it takes it to the next level.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Make sure of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, also your looks never look exactly the same. So
Yeah.
it's a hard question to choose like one type of look.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
I don't even know how to define my own style. So it's kind of a mishmash of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. But that's also good, I guess, not to do the same thing, but to
Yeah.
vary. Yeah. And just to come back to your account on Instagram, because that's where you post your makeups. I think you also have TikTok, right?
I have TikTok, but I don't post often on it.
Yeah. So Instagram is your main social
Instagram is my
media
main
platform. Yeah.
platform.
And are there, of course, it has a lot of advantages, I can guess, to be on Instagram, and it probably, like you said, helped you evolve a lot. But are there aspects that you don't really like of having a makeup Instagram account that we wouldn't think about because, the audience or the subscribers might not necessarily realize certain aspects that might be more negative?
Well, you get sucked into like the bad sides of it, I guess. It's like the numbers are going to become what you only think about, and that's what we were talking about before we started the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been stuck with the same amount of followers for a year. It keeps on going down. My likes are barely at like 200, and I know it's super sad to just focus on numbers, but that's what motivates you, when you spend hours on a look and you're so proud of it and you post it and it barely gets any love.
Yeah.
You get a bit disappointed, and that's human, I guess. But so that's one thing. But so the algorithm I don't like. But another thing is, I feel, and that's what I've noticed for the past few years, is that when you don't follow trends, like you gotta follow trends to be popular or go viral or whatever it may be. And I think that's very sad because I never follow the trends because I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like it. And I think like if I were to do reels and follow all the trends and like recreate all the Met Gala looks, because that's what everybody's talking about lately, then I
Mm-hmm.
would probably like maybe gain a bit more followers. But that's just not me. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing everything that everybody does.
Yeah.
So that's the downside of it, I guess. Like if you don't do it like everybody else, or if you don't follow the news of makeup, like if I don't know, Kim Kardashian did whatever, and then if you don't recreate it, then no one's gonna talk about you, because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't recreate that specific look.
Yeah.
So that's a bit sad, I guess.
Yeah, I can completely understand. And I think even though a lot of people say, likes and views and everything are not important, and it's true, it's not the most important thing. Obviously, your passion should come first. You shouldn't do what you're
Yeah,
doing for the likes and views. But if you spend a lot of time on something and then you get no feedback, then it's just like, yeah, I mean, it can be demotivating. I understand
yeah,
that. Like, I know for me, for example, if I post a podcast episode, I do the podcast episodes because I really like doing it. I like having the conversations, talking with the guests. So even if no one would like listen to it and stuff, I would still do it. But it's
yeah,
true that sometimes, it's nice to have some feedback, even if it's to, I would say, like, not maybe criticize you, but even if it's to tell you something you could improve, it's still nice to know, okay, like I could improve this, I could change that, someone liked this aspect. But if you get no feedback at all, then you just don't know if what you're doing is
yeah.
right, good or
Exactly.
not. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't know if like you did a good job or not, if people liked it, or it's
Yeah.
quite difficult.
Yeah. So I can understand that. And you were talking about trends, and it's true that on Instagram I've seen a lot, you need to do reels and stuff to like
Yeah,
grow on Instagram. So I've been trying, to be honest, sometimes to do reels, and even though it's not always the most comfortable thing to do, I mean, I
yeah,
still like find them fun sometimes to do, and I always do things that I like, how can I say, that I feel aligned with. I would never do something that I don't feel like doing. But it is kind of true that sometimes you feel forced to do
yeah,
reels
exactly.
because everyone says that that's how you're gonna grow and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah, I understand. I guess that it's also part of the game, I would say, right? If you're on
yeah,
social media, yeah. But it's true that most businesses now also are on social media. It's almost like it's inevitable nowadays, I feel like, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
feel like no brand has no make like every brand has an account on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like you're kind
Because
of,
that's how you do partnerships with the influencers and stuff. Like they're obligated to have one.
yeah, and also to get known, right? So that people
Yeah,
get to know
exactly.
your
That's how
brand. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
And you can have special offers just on Instagram when you follow them, like a special code or just like be aware of whatever
yeah.
it may be.
Yeah. That's an interesting conversation. It's true that we have it sometimes, you and I actually, since I
Yeah.
started the podcast mostly. Um, but yeah, I can totally understand where you're coming from. And I guess it's not really true, when people say, okay, views and likes don't matter at all, because at the end of the day, a little bit still.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm still gonna do makeup from, even
Hmm.
though I don't do it as much as I used to. I'm still gonna do it from time to time. That's because that's my passion. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
But it's true that when you spend so much time on something, like if I were to do a painting, I spend like hours and hours on it, and then someone saw it and was like, okay, then of course I would be sad,
Yeah.
because I would love the thing that I did. So it's kind of the same thing, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I think we could talk about this for like a long time, but I
Yeah.
thought it was nice to talk about this aspect.
Yeah, of
And
course.
we didn't talk actually at all, I think, about your studies, but yeah, I always struggle to say in one word what your studies are because I never know the exact words. So maybe it's best if you explain it, but
I
it's not related to makeup. That's why I thought it would be interesting to talk
no,
about it.
yeah. So I study graphic design. So yeah, I use Photoshop and Illustrator on a daily basis.
Okay.
And I actually did a 6 months internship at Louis Vuitton,
Hmm.
and it was amazing. We use Photoshop to change the material or the color of the some bags or recreate motifs with the monogram. And it's a lot of fun. The people there are super nice, and I'm actually continuing there for an apprenticeship for 2 years. So I'm excited to start this new chapter of my life. It's really exciting. And also it kind of the work I do at Louis Vuitton and the work I do on Instagram kind of cross over with the detail. They're so meticulous. Sometimes we get asked to move the print like 2 millimeters up.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna notice that the 2 millimeters are up, but they're such perfectionists that it has to be perfect, and it's understandable because there's such this huge praised company, this number one luxury brand.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that everything gets got to be perfect, and I kind of see and translate that into my makeup when I want every detail, every little aspect of it to be perfect.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a conjunction between them all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can really see that you're very happy also that you did an internship at Louis Vuitton, that you were really happy. So I think that
Yeah.
that's great that you found something that makes you happy. But I want to go back like a few years earlier to when you had to choose your studies and why you didn't decide to pursue like
Makeup.
yeah, makeup, but like professionally, I would say.
Yeah. The main thing is because of my parents. They didn't want to. They didn't want me to because they didn't think it was a real job or whatever. So I went to see
Like
like
counselor. Yeah.
a counselor, yeah, a private counselor, not from one from school, and she really helped me understand what I wanted to do
Mhm.
after school because I hated high school, like math and stuff like that. I just or French, my God. But yeah, I wanted to do something that was completely different from school, not having like physics and math and stuff like that. Like I hated it. I hated it, and I found this where I could be on computers creating stuff and doing web design and graphic design, creating logos and graphic charts and stuff like that. And that's what I love doing now. And now
Yeah.
I'm doing my master's in artistic direction, and I couldn't be more happier to do my apprenticeship at Louis Vuitton. It's gonna be amazing. I feel like I'm gonna learn so much, and it's gonna be wonderful. Thanks,
So
Rob.
you, yeah, so you don't regret at all the fact that you didn't
Oh no,
pursue a
because now
career in makeup.
I don't really see my because I don't I've realized with time that I don't like well, I don't. It's not that I don't like, but I prefer to do makeup on myself rather than on others.
Mm-hmm.
So doing makeup professionally wouldn't be like, I think it would be something that I would enjoy, but maybe more like SFX makeups for like movies and stuff like that. I think that would be more interesting rather than doing beauty shots.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's an interesting conversation because, a lot of people say that your job should be a passion or like your passion can be your job.
Yeah.
But in your case, then that's not really what you would even want.
Yeah, that's not what I would even want because I found another passion while working there,
Yeah, yeah,
So,
sure. So it's
and I
still,
can mix
yeah.
the both. I can mix both of them because I gotta be creative there. I gotta be creative when I do my makeup. So I always, and when while I'm painting, it's always something that creativity is something that I always use on a daily basis. So that's maybe like my passion for creativity, I guess.
Yeah,
That is in makeup, in graphic design, and in painting.
yeah. Yeah, that's nice what you said because you're still then saying that your job is a passion, but it's a new passion. It's not the one you had
Yeah, yeah,
when
it's
you
something
were.
that I discovered.
It's
Yeah,
something you discovered. Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting way. I didn't really look at it that way before. Was kind of like, okay, or you do a job that is a passion, or you do a job that is not a passion. But it's
yeah,
not that arbitrary, actually. Yeah.
yeah. You can fall in love with your job, or you can
Hmm.
see some aspects of it that you can, I don't know how to say it, like you can incorporate in your daily life.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to stay open-minded. I mean, if I look at myself, even when I was in high school, like you, I was like, okay, I hate math, I hate science, I don't want to do anything
Yeah,
related to science. But I really liked psychology and nutrition and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to do that because I don't like science. And now I study public health and I realize, okay, you don't have to be a chemist or a biologist or
or
whatever to do
science.
public health. So, yeah, if you're open-minded, actually, you can find your
Yeah,
way to. Mhm.
to through things. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
exactly.
And now let's do a little advice moment. What would
Yes.
you advise maybe, well, yeah, to someone who loves makeup and would like to start well, I guess it could be Instagram account or any social media, honestly.
Yeah. An advice, I would say just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, and don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do it to get a lot of followers, to get free makeup, to get anything, to get money, because that's just not gonna work. And you gotta really do what you love. Don't be forced into trends like me. I'm it's not something that I get interested in, so I just don't do it. I don't force myself to do it. So just do what feels right, and be genuine in what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think could work in anything other than makeup also. So
Yeah, yeah.
advice for anyone, yeah, maybe being on social media also could follow
Just
that
be,
advice.
be you. Don't try to be someone you're not, and people are gonna love you for who you are. Just
Yeah,
be genuine.
because otherwise it's not going to be sustainable. It's like you've been doing this
Yeah,
for 4 years, for example. If you don't like it, you just can't continue.
yeah, exactly. Like if you put on this persona for everybody to like, at some point you're just gonna crack and be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, because especially at the beginning, like me, like with the podcast, for example, there's not a lot of views, and like I said, I don't do it for the views, because if I was doing it for the views, I don't think I could do it for that long. You have to do it because you like it, and you have to expect that at the beginning it's not gonna, blow
Yeah,
up or anything. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, okay, great. And another tip, I thought it would be nice maybe if you had like a, makeup tip you would like to share with the people listening to this podcast. Like anyone who likes makeup and is listening to this podcast, what would you advise them?
Uh, yeah, the main thing would be about lashes. If you want your lashes to be long and thick and non-clumpy, that's the one thing. I highly, highly recommend you using a lash primer.
Mm-hmm.
I use the one from L'Oreal, the Lash Paradise Primer. And it's a white base that you let dry. You have to let it dry because otherwise, if you go in with your mascara while it's not dry, you're going to have the formulas are going to mix up and you're going to have some gray, weird mess on your lashes.
Okay.
So make sure to let it dry. And then you go in with mascara, and just one coat will be enough. The primer creates a barrier, like creates some texture on your lashes and then when you go in with mascara, your mascara has something to grip onto because there's something on your lashes. Because if you go in with mascara and you have nothing on your lashes, it's just gonna slide on them, and you're gonna have to apply 3-4, like not 3-4, but like 2 or 3 layers to get the volume and the length that you want. Whereas if you use a primer, you just have to use 1 layer, so your lashes won't be clumpy and they will be long and thick.
Okay, yeah. I mean, people listening to this podcast don't have a visual, but I think the thing that represents you is really lashes, you know, like since I've known you, you always had super long lashes. So I would say this is a good advice to follow. You're like expert on lashes.
And castor oil. Castor oil is amazing if you want to grow out your lashes.
Okay. Yeah, I've never tried it or really heard of it, to be honest.
You should. Yeah. Castor oil, it's in French is huile de ricin.
Oh yeah, then I've heard of it. Okay. Yeah, that's totally different name. Yeah, I've heard of that. It's good for your hair and like nails and everything, right? Just...
Yeah, exactly. But it helps to grow out your lashes and eyebrows and stuff like that. I use it all the time. It's amazing.
Yeah, great advice. And we had more than one advice, so that's great. And if people want to know more, obviously there's your Instagram account that we didn't even mention. So would you like to just mention it now?
Yes, it's Beulné, so B.HELAGATE. It's like B for because my last name starts with a B, and then my name is Agathe, so Agathe, and Elegate because there's, I don't know, Be Elegate, Be Elegant. It's like a, I don't know. That's how I found the thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever asked you the question actually. How
I came up with the name. But I just mixed the letters of my first and last name and leaving a couple of them out of it, and then I just saw Be Elegate.
Yeah, I think the H is I didn't really know why there was an H, but like you said, it's for the
Agathe. It's from Agathe.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's A-G-A, I wrote it A-G-A-T-E, but normally it's T-H-E, but the H is just in the front.
Okay, yeah, nice. It's always, you know, the stressful thing when you have to come up with the name of like your account or brand or whatever, because you're like, you're gonna stay with this for years, so you have to choose kind of carefully. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, nice. I don't know if there's a last word you would like to say before ending the episode. Maybe if you have future projects or not necessarily at the moment.
Future projects, I don't know. I really want to get into Halloween makeup, so I guess be on the lookout for that. I think I'm gonna do a lot. I really want to experiment with SFX makeup this year.
Yeah.
So like with zombie and cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be great. It's coming soon then, actually. I don't know when Halloween is.
Soon. I need to get on that.
Halloween is what, like end of October or something?
Yeah, 31st of October.
31st of October, yeah. Okay. Well, then, great. I'm looking forward to see what that would look like. I've always also been interested in this, but I'm just not good at it at all. I guess you just have to practice, but...
Yeah, it's just practice and having the good materials. Not materials, like the good products, I mean.
But the techniques are very different from like glam makeup, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to shine, you want it to look natural.
Yeah.
You want it to be too thick.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, I'm, like I said, excited to see what that would look like. I think we've come to the end of this episode then. Again, Agathe, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It was really nice of you to accept.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
And again, I was super happy to talk about your passion and, like I said, bring back some memories. I think it's nice. And also, you know, this, like you said, you talked about your Instagram account being like kind of album, you know, where you can keep your progress. I'm sure this podcast episode, you know, just in a few years we can look back at it and see what changed and everything. So it's nice to have something like that. So once again, thank you. And thank you to everyone who was listening to this podcast episode. You can find Agathe on her Instagram account. You can also find The Life They Live on Instagram. It's The Life They Live _podcast. And of course, don't hesitate to give your feedback, whether it's good or bad. You know, I'm always looking to improve, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.